This
Okay.
conference will now be recorded.
So the conference is also have started recording. I'll also just share my screen. Let me know if you are able to see the screen. Can you see?
You can see.
Okay, great. First, let me introduce myself. So, as I told, this is Meghna, and I have total 9+ years of IT experience, and 6+ years of my experience lies in open text Vim. So I have worked for various implementation projects and rollout projects and as well as support projects so far for open text. And I have also experience in ICC, BCC, IES, OCR tools, which will be integrated with Vim. Yeah, this is my overall experience. And you guys also please start introducing yourself one by one. Then we can start with the demo session. Yeah, I think Chiranjeevi, you have already introduced. Yeah, thanks for that. Uh, can others go ahead, please?
Hello, hi everyone. I'm Shekhar. Hi Meghna, can you hear me?
Hi, Hi, Shekhar. Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, I'm a FICO consultant. I have been 10 years of experience and involved in the three end-to-end implementations and one rollout. But I'm new to Vim module. I would like to learn about Vim and OpenText. I got a chance to work in support projects, but I want to explore more in Vim. That's why I am joining the demo session.
Okay, great. Okay. Thank you. Next, I think who's there? Sagar, can you introduce?
Yeah, hi Meghna. Hi, all, good morning. I'm Nitya Sagar. I have 11 years of experience as a FSCO consultant. I have involved in two implementation end-to-end projects. And present my client have the beam. Just I want to learn that one. That's it, my Thank you.
Okay, okay. So you are already working on Vim, right?
No, actually, my client have that one, but I don't have the knowledge of
All
very,
right.
yeah.
Okay, okay. Next, we have Ashwini.
Yeah, hi Meghna. Can you
Hi,
hear
hi.
me?
Yeah, we can
Yeah,
hear you.
yeah. My name is Ashwini and I'm having around 3 years of experience in SAP MM. And currently I'm working as a Vim consultant. It's a rollout project. Since like 6 months I'm working in Vim.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So we have Swati. Can you also please introduce?
Yeah. Hi, Meghna. Hi, everyone. Um, I have experience in SAP Ariba of 3 years, and from past 6 months, I'm working as a Vim consultant. So I want to learn more in Vim. That's why I'm here.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Uh, yes, as I understood, most of you, I mean, some of you are already working on Vim since few months, and some of you have expertise in FICO. That means I think you all have a very good understanding on SAP already. And Vim module is also almost very closer to FICO, so it is not that difficult to get an understanding in a deeper level. So that's great. You can all see my screen, right? Already shared, I think. Okay.
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
So yeah, this first we will just start with the introduction session. I mean, as a demo, we will just start with what exactly is Vim, and what are the activities that will be carried out in Vim, and how, I mean, what are the business benefits that we have by using the, Vim tool, etc., etc. And in our future sessions, we will be going deeper into the configuration part, and how we will be starting the config part for any implementation projects or rollout projects. We will try to understand. So, coming to SAP Vim, basically Vim means it's vendor invoice management. So by name itself, we can all understand that, to process the vendor invoices, we use the Vim. So now we will try to understand like why we are using Vim, and what are the business benefits that we have using Vim, and why are we not using the SAP transactions. SAP transactions means, why are we not using Myro or FP60, and why only Vim? That part we will just try to understand. And just one thing, guys, if any questions, please, stop me anywhere. Feel free, and ask the queries if you have any in between. Okay. And yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. So continuing with the session, um, nowadays we are, I mean, organizations are opting for Vim because they want to automate the process. So uh, like there should be a control in the system in terms of, indexing the data or validating the data. This is why majorly Vim is being used for by the, clients, so that they can automate the processing of the invoice, and they can manage well. And also they can control the, I mean, control the system in terms of, indexing the data or validating the data with less manual intervention. So for that purpose, Vim is the best solution. Um, Here we are trying to automate the invoice processing as much as possible within Vim. And as you can see on the screen about the Vim, so this is the packaged business solution provided by the open text, and this solves the business problem by paying correct amounts to vendors on time. And uh, I mean, Vim helps for, best business processing for the invoice processing, and it adds the value to the customer, and it is SAP centric. That means it very well integrates with SAP. So we all have, I mean, uh, once the Vim is integrated into SAP, we have Vim specific T codes where we can try to process the invoice. Otherwise, we will not have this Vim T codes available in SAP. That means that's what Vim hand with Vim we use different set of T codes that will be enabled once the Vim is installed and integrated with SAP. So within Vim, one of the, we can also route the invoices to different user. Like you all might be aware the, for example, I'm just telling you, AP team, accounts payable team, you all might be aware, who is responsible for processing the invoices is the AP team. So Vim is mostly handled by, I mean, the AP team, because end-to-end processing will be taken care majorly by the AP processor. So for example, just I'm telling, like AP team will process this vendor invoice. There can be any information that can be required from a, for example, a PO requester or a PO buyer. For any specific information that is required within Vim itself, in Vim they can route this invoice and ask the buyer or any info provider if any queries regarding, if it is a PO buyer, maybe there is some issue with a GR line, or some PO data is required, then AP team can route the invoice to that PO buyer and ask for the information. This all communication is done within Vim itself. So the AP team is not going outside of the Vim, or they are not going on to Teams or Skype or email. They are trying to they are trying to route the invoices within the Vim and asking their queries. So this is one of the major advantage that we have in Vim. So that this with this everything will be tracked within the system. And for audit purpose also, it will be very efficient, so that all the activities are being done within Vim itself. So similarly, they can also route it to the tax team, and again the tax team can also answer the AP team queries, like if there is some issue with a tax code or a tax rate, they can route it within the Vim itself, and the communication is done within Vim, and everything is tracked, and we can also see the history of the invoice, that to which all teams or to which all people this invoice have been, and yeah, it has been processed. So this is one thing where exactly okay, this is the other slide. Okay, so the other thing is, like on Vim, we have yeah, this is an add-on tool to the SAP ERP system, and majority of the functions, yes, will run inside the SAP system itself. And uh, you all might have a doubt where exactly this Vim is coming into picture. So just to uh, uh, just to understand, this Vim exactly sits before the SAP T codes, that is Myro and FP60. So though the processing, and there are a lot of controls that we are putting within Vim, once the process and everything is complete, just before the posting, whenever a AP processor or AP team is trying to post an invoice, then background, the transactions, Myro and FP60 are only called. Um, you guys are understanding, right? Let me know if any questions. So just before the posting, I'm trying to tell that Vim calls Myro or FP60 in background while posting in Vim. So this is what I am trying to explain. So we also have it integrates with SAP functions like invoice verification and financial processing. So as I told, Vim just sits before this my SAP transactions, and once the invoice is posted in Vim, we will be having an document generated for a PO invoice, and we have accounting document generated for a non-PO invoice. So we also have this versions. If you see this 20 versions and 16.3 versions, these are SAP S4 HANA versions that are currently existing. And we also have the ECC version 7.6, 7.5, 7.0 versions that are there. And you can see this validity for these versions based on the years. And we can see 7.0 versions are in end of support, and 7.5 versions we have till December 23, that is this year, and later we have 7.6 and above that are till November 2025. And yes, HANA versions we have 20.4 versions that are currently in use. Any questions, please let me know.
Hi, Meghna. I'm Shekhar.
Hi.
As you said, the version 7.6 and 20.4, 7.6 is for ECC and 20 or 16 version is for S4HANA. Okay,
Mhm.
so any differences in other than versions management, like um, any simplifications added comparing to 7.5 and this 20.4? Because we are using
Okay.
20.4 and I see many differences when I compare it to 7.5, like NPO invoice also getting posted along with document.
Correct, correct. So in
So,
every versions we have with if a PO is posted, we have the document that is being generated. Previously, I mean in 7.5 or 6 version ECC, we will be only having for a PO invoice document will be generated, and an NPO invoice this only FI document will be generated. But in newer versions, we have both the documents generated for PO as well as NPO. For PO invoice, as you all might be aware, document is required, and for NPO invoice, we can just ignore it. It is not, we will be only ignoring it, and we will be only taking the accounting document for the payment process further. But features wise, yeah.
ignoring means that will get posted anyways.
Anyways, it will be getting posted. There is no any option. We have also, observed this. We are also working on currently SAP S4 HANA version. Yeah, we cannot avoid it by by enabling anything. But simply ignoring is the only thing that we can do, because financial document we only require the accounting document, right, for the payment purpose for an NPO.
Yes. For that, what's happening is when we have parked the invoice via document, and when we're trying to see the FI document from either we click on document or FI document, it is going and opening FB03 screen, but only header, like vendor item is getting available, but line items is not visible.
Mm-hmm.
Real items.
Okay. Okay, parking means it is already posted in Vim, right?
Yes, it's parked in Vim, not posted in FI.
Mm-hmm.
With the parking
Okay.
reasons, we have enabled that to get parked. It should go to the second level, I mean super user to approve it. Then the super user, when he trying to
Okay.
open the invoice, it's opening only 31 posting key vendor item, not GL items, Xmas items, 40 posting key will be there. That's not visible.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
What I
also,
understood is, right, yeah,
mm,
yeah, tell me.
and also when we seen in table level also, VBKPF, we have the data, okay, and VBKPF, sorry, VBSEG K, we have the vendor data, but VBSEG S, where the GL items needs to save the parking items, that's not available there also. So we are surprising where it is getting saved, don't know.
You are telling this Vim data only, right? Vim line item
Yes.
data or
Vim line item, Vim header data is available, head and item.
mm,
OPT, that data the tables are having the Vim data, but when we
yeah,
park it, that should
understood.
be available in VBKPF and VBSEG tables, right?
Right, right, okay.
That,
But what I am understanding is the posting is complete in Vim, and you are trying, in my SAP side, the super user set is trying to again post it.
mm,
Hello?
yes, yes.
Okay, okay, got it. That is again maybe related to, because it is Vim tables, as you told, everything is getting updated and posting is also done, right? As a functional Vim consultant, we will take care of, the processing of the invoices until Vim, or if any issues are there. After that, we have some SAP tables that will be integrated. In our future sessions, we will also see the list of SAP tables also, where Vim data is getting stored from Vim to SAP. So there are some list of tables that will be available. We also have, I think I'm not able to remember, but T001, where I think that is company code related data. And similarly, we will have some other tables also
Mhm.
where the data is getting stored. But as I look at it, this is not a Vim specific issue, I am understanding from the problem that you have, that you are telling.
Okay, okay, fine.
Yeah, it's more SAP side, standard SAP side related, data tables are not updated, something like that, or maybe some other tables that we have this data.
Yeah, in future sessions, you will be having the live Vim or SAP screens and OCR
Yes,
setup that will be integrated, correct? Which
correct,
version
correct.
from the
We have all
OCR?
that. So we have 7.5 version, ECC version itself, and
Hmm.
we will be executing the T codes, and we will be trying to look at all the configurations and from the ECC server screen. But one more thing I want to highlight here, between SAP ECC and SAP S4 HANA from Vim perspective, what I would say is there is not much difference. It is again, the advantages is like something, a global advantage that we have. The HANA is on cloud database, and that will be applicable for Vim as well. But only looking at the Vim perspective from ECC versions to HANA version, there is no much difference that we have it while working on a upgrade project or a support project. But yes, only the features that we have, additional features are available in HANA, where we are trying to enable some Fury apps where users can use it and try to take an action on the invoice. That is one major difference. Other than that, what I would say is not very much difference that we will be observing in terms of implementing a project or a rollout project. So yeah, if any questions, let me know. Otherwise, we'll just move forward with the process. And one more thing, we have, we will be trying to understand the OCR part, where all the configuration that will be done in Vim, and we will be trying to see the OCR configuration part. But we do not have the server of the OCR where we can go into the tool and validate it. But we will be trying to cover the configuration, how it integrates in Vim. We can also try to take a session where we will try to give a document step by step, a step by step process where for the OCR, because we have the Vim server, but OCR server is not available. But yeah, step by step procedure we can give with the screenshots in our document. Yeah, we will start it here with the processing, how it happens in Vim, the invoice processing. So the first step for the invoice processing starts with the scanning. So invoice that is which has come as a hard copy, they need to convert it into a soft copy. So there are many scanning tools usually the businesses will be using that are available for scanning, for converting this hard copy invoices into a soft copy. So standard open text is also providing one of the tool for scanning purpose, that is called enterprise scanner, which will help to convert to the soft copy invoices. So once we have this soft copy available, we need to upload it to the Vim system. So here is when we will try to upload it to the Vim folder. Once the scanning is done and soft copy is available, we have to upload it to the Vim folder, and at that very point of time, we also have the archiving of the invoices that will be done. So at the time of uploading the invoices to Vim itself, archiving is also happening in Vim. So what is archiving? We will see. So at any point of time, we can retrieve the invoices from the archive server. If we are trying to, this is nothing but it is a storage where all the invoice images will be stored, and from this is called a content repository or an archive server. So this will be usually while implementation, this will be usually created by the basis team, the content repository or the archive server. We will try to integrate it with Vim, where we will link the objects, and we will try to integrate it with Vim, and we can retrieve the invoices at any point of time from the archive server to the Vim. So coming to the next part, so archiving is done and we will try to upload it, the invoice image to the within the Vim system. This is the first step that happens in the invoice processing. So once this invoices are uploaded, then we also have the OCR tool. These will be routed to the OCR tool. OCR is an optional tool that business can opt, and most of the businesses will opt for this tool. What is OCR means? That is optical character recognition. So optical character recognition means it extracts all the information from the invoice image. Usually what is the work that OCR does is it will try to extract the data that is present on the invoice image, like what type of information that OCR will extract is like vendor number, vendor name, and there can be a invoice reference number, or amount like a gross amount, tax amount. So that will be done by this OCR tool. So as I told, once the invoice is uploaded, it is archived and it is sent to OCR, where the invoice data is extracted. Then next, the invoice is sent to OCR validation. OCR validation means where with the help of the validation tool, the AP processor will go into this tool and verify the invoice information. So they will validate the data that is present on the face of the invoice or invoice image. So once this verification is done, then they will try to submit that invoice in the validation tool. So any questions, let me know until this, yeah.
Yeah, Meghna, I have a question.
Yeah.
Meghna, I'm Sagar. It's a scan invoice. Generally, it will do the supplier, the scan invoice. Supplier will do that one, and they will send the soft copy to.
No,
SAP system or our SAP end users or business users will do the scan.
Business users will be doing it, Sagar, and in most of the cases, there will be a scanning team that will be located in each of the locations for our business clients. So they will be receiving the once the invoice is received from the vendor, our team scanning teams at each location, whether it is a country code wise or company wise, they will try to scan it and send it further for a vim processing. And sometimes though this is rare, AP team is also again the scanning team in some areas. What I have seen is that means it is our users itself. Yeah.
Okay, I have one more question. After the Vim invoice is stored in the repository and then it's sent to SAP Vim. The term called as a SAP Vim, it's not only Vim, not individually SAP. We can't say that one. SAP Vim, we need to say that one. It's not completely reached to SAP. Did you get
Mm.
my question?
Yeah, yeah. Here after archiving you're telling or after uploading?
After uploading, the third step, yeah, your cursor is there.
Uh-huh.
So it is
After
in,
uploading,
it's not approved by, it's not workflow triggered, so it's reached to SAP, it reached that one. So it we called as SAP
mm,
Vim. The document is there in SAP Vim.
SAP.
Vim doc ID created. Yeah, okay.
Yes, yes. Because it is integrated already and it will be available. Even if we go into particular Vim T codes, like where we will be getting a report, like Vim Analytics report, we will call it. We will try to see. Then we will get a unique document with the Vim document ID that will be generated here itself. And uh, yeah, so SAP Vim only, that is not separate
So we should
SAP. Mhm.
so we should not call it reached Vim also. SAP Vim only we should
No, no, we
SAP
can call it Vim. We can call it
Vim.
Vim. Sagar. Yes,
Vim
it has
analytics is
reached.
showing as the document ID. So we can
Mm,
reach as a we can say that it reached to Vim.
Vim, correct, correct. Yeah. Again, SAP means again you all will consider something like once the it is something like once this posting happens in Vim, then it is in SAP. That is what we will try to see. But again, SAP very well integrates with Vim, so there are only certain set of T codes that we are accessing extra with the Vim within SAP itself. So we can call it cumulatively, SAP Vim. That's why we are telling here like that. Okay. So yeah. Next, we are trying to understand the OCR. So once it is the invoice is submitted in the validation tool, the invoice now will come up with the pre-filled information into the Vim. This is because the team or the validation is done by the manual intervention itself, and some information they have put it into the validation tool. In the verifying the data from the invoice, they have given some information like the amounts, vendor information, company code information. So that will come into the Vim workplace for processing. Once it is submitted in this tool, it will come into the Vim workplace for the processing. So this is validation client. They have reviewed and the OCR has some output and they have verified, and if there are any changes they have given from the invoice image and submitted that. And now it is our Vim invoice is ready for the processing in Vim. So once the invoice is in Vim, the system will check here. The system will be checking for exceptions or errors, which will be raised when there is some missing data that is still there, or any data discrepancy. Data discrepancy means, yeah, that is the data. It will compare it with the master data and the data that has come on the invoice. that is already pre-filled in the Vim fields. It will just compare it, and if there is some mismatch, for suppose we have invalid company code or invalid vendor, for suppose a PO invoice is coming with a particular vendor and we are trying to give it a different vendor, then there is a mismatch and the exception or error will be raised. So um, like once this there is a set of exceptions or rules that we will configure it based on the business requirement for a PO and an NPO separately. For PO we have set of exceptions that we will try to enable, and for NPO document we will have a separate set of exceptions that we will configure according to the business requirement. So open text, as we told, the main advantage is we have the controlling in the system. That means we can enable any a number of exceptions, and we can also the standard exceptions itself, there are many that will be that OpenText will be providing us. And according to the business requirement, if we require any additional check that the business is trying to put, then we can define a custom exception, and we can give a custom function module logic we can add to that exception, and we can try to um, include it while processing the invoice. So once this all set of exceptions that will be cleared, once the data discrepancy is done, I mean is corrected, and once the AP is clears all the exceptions, then they are good to post the invoice in Vim. So if it is like 100% okay, there is no any error or exception that is existing, then they can post the invoice, and the accounting document or document will be generated. If no, then it will again trigger to a manual intervention where the AP needs to look into that and carry out the steps. If for suppose a PO document that is getting processed, if there is no GR available, it will flag an exception that there is no GR. Then the AP team will be routing it to again PO team for the GR creation. And once the GR is created, again once again they will again verify with the manual intervention, and then if it is okay, yeah, that will be posted. So any kind of other manual intervention is required, it will stop posting, and once everything is okay again, then it will be posted in Vim. So as I told here, as after clearing all the exception, once they are trying to just click on post by applying the rules, then the system is background is calling myro or fb60 t codes and posting it in the background. So then this we also have like after the exception clearing, we also have the approvals in place. These approvals are also like according to the business requirement we can configure. If the business is having multi level of approvals required, then for an NPO invoice usually they will be requiring approvals. Then we can do that setup also here, where it can be routed to the approvers, and once everything is okay, then the posting happens. And for PO we have only one step of approval as per standard open text Vim is giving. That also according to the business requirement, if needed, we will configure the approval setup for PO invoices also. So so this is a end-to-end process that is happening in Vim from scanning to the posting. So once this document or accounting document is generated, then after this the payment run comes into picture, which I think FI a team will be looking at, because until posting only the process of Vim is complete. Payment run is not again part of Vim anymore. So end-to-end processing is only from ingestion of this invoices to the posting of an document or accounting document. So this is the overall overview that is there. So any questions, please raise, guys. Let me know here. Okay. So yeah. So as I told, we will be seeing this. I mean, yeah. Tell me.
Yeah, topic is clear.
Sorry.
Topic is we can proceed further.
Okay, okay, good, good. Okay, thank you for that. So we have seen that the Vim overview, basic overview, and now we will just try to understand this what is Vim and what is archive server and ICC. I mean, as I already told you, just this is one more slide explaining it, like defining this. That's it. So. Uh, yeah, ICC is ICC or BCC or IES. That is an OCR tool. We that currently OpenText is providing these tools, and some business clients will also use the third-party OCR tools. But standard OpenText is also giving us with ICC, BCC, or IES tools. ICC usually is again out of it is a very old tool, and most of the clients now are using BCC or IES. BCC means Business Capture Center. The purpose is same. They are all doing the extraction only, but these are like some I mean latest versions. We call it. And IES is again information extraction services. That is also an OCR tool that standard open text is giving, and most of the clients are using that because it is using a machine learning technique, and it is very efficient. I would say like 90% of the data, 95% of the data is getting captured correctly in those tools. So that is one latest thing that every business is trying to take it up. And archive server, as I told, it is a storage, like it is a storage or content repository that we called. Like once every invoice image that is scanned is coming and storing in the server, which is I mean this also have a validity like to certain years. The invoice images are stored in this particular server, and at any point of time we can retrieve it from this server. For Vim processing also, for retrieval purpose, this archive server integration is a very important thing that we are going to see in our next sessions. This is also something detailed process overview that until now we have discussed, but in a different representation, I would say. So the incoming invoice is coming, and the scanning and archiving is happening. Then we have the invoice interpretation, that is capturing of metadata or the capturing of the data from the invoice image that is happening. And once the OCR step is done, then it is coming into the Vim workplace for the AP team to process. So they are trying to index the data, validate it once again, and they are also trying to check the duplication if there is something. And we also have this all configuration that we will see in our future sessions, how the duplication is checked, that we can configure it, and how to configure the exceptions, and how to configure the custom exceptions. And we have some comments that which we can see within Vim itself. As I told, the to and fro communication is being done from the AP users to the tax team or to the PO team. That all comments, that all communication will be visible in the comment section that is available in Vim. And yeah, once the resolve exceptions is completed, then the automatic posting is done. And reporting is nothing but, I think, we Vim analytics report is one universal report that we have, where we can track all the invoices that have come into the system, where exactly with which status exactly a particular invoice is sitting. We can see that in Vim Analytics report. So everything is captured in the Vim Analytics report. So payment
One
part, as
question.
I told, yeah.
Sorry, I have a doubt. How do we know how BCC or IES works?
Mhm. Mhm. Correct. So
Will that session also cover in our training?
So theoretically, yes, yes, we will be covering that session where we will be trying to understand what exactly is ICC, and majorly I will also try to give mostly the overview on IES because that is the latest one, and how the servers are maintained in background. And but as I told, we do not have the server existing to go and validate the invoices, because that is only a testing part, I would say. Other than that, theoretically, we will cover how it is integrated with Vim, and whether some steps I will be covering, making a document that how we will be adding the fields into the BCC, or how we will try to add new fields there or remove the fields there. That we will be trying to see, that we will try to see. So how there are certain hotspots that they will enable in the BCC servers. We will see that also, like what is happening there.
Okay, fine.
Okay. Yes. So right. Again, we are coming to this payment part. It is again AFI team, or APFI is going to take over from this step. And some terminology we are trying to understand that we are using in Vim. So I have kept it in slide like this. You can go through like enterprise scan. We need to understand this terminology before we are going into our future sessions where we will discuss the configuration parts. So we have the OCR, that means optical character recognition. We have ICC, that is again OCR tool. The name of the tool is ICC. And archive server, as I told, it is a content repository or a server that will be created by the basis team itself before the implementation. The first step where before the implementation starts, they will be trying to create and give it to the us, and we can link it with the Vim business objects. And we call it, every invoice that is coming, we will call it as DP document or DP number in Vim. This is a unique number that will be generated for the invoices that are coming into the Vim system. We will identify every invoice with this reference so that it is unique and it is easier. We have DP document types that we will be creating it based on, there is a separate document type that we will be creating for a PO, and we will be creating a separate document type for NPO, so that we will determine what type of invoice has come and how the processing should be done in Vim further. So yeah. I think, yeah, we will start with we will also try to see the course content once, like what all we are trying to cover in Vim course content. So this is the Vim content that we are going to cover in our sessions. Yeah, the overview and the configuration of archive doc type creations and roles, and yeah, we are going to see the PO processing configuration part where all these steps are included. And we have the NPO processing, invoice processing part. where we can also see approvals, invoice approval, how we will be doing it in Vim. And we will see the channel configuration, how the email channel or OAWD channels that are configured for uploading the invoices. And we will try to see some important reports and jobs that are there within Vim. And yeah, we will also see the OCR, I mean Invoice Capture Center or BCC or IES that we will be seeing, and what are the important batch jobs that are communicating and how to configure that within Vim, that we will try to see. So this is all the course content that is there. So in our very next session, we will try to understand the Vim screen, and then we will immediately jump into the archive doc type creation and role creations in our next sessions. Until now, let me know any queries. Then we can close the session after addressing all your queries. Yeah.
One question I have.
Mhm.
No, don't we have any competitor? Means, or any substitution for this Vim application?
Mm,
I will rephrase again.
uh,
Don't we have
mhm.
any competitor? Whatever the features are, Vim is as having. No
Mhm.
other application does not have.
Uh, I mean, OCR, as I told, the others which are third-party tools, the scanning tools, these are all, instead of enterprise scan, we have the COFEX and kind of tools, and also OCR third-party are giving us. But Vim, I think, with this efficiency and the only thing what I would say is like this integration with SAP, right? So it very well integrates. So this is one of the best tools I would say. But this efficient tools I mean not aware where we have it. I mean competitors like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And which version we are going to have the training?
We have 7.6 ECC version for our training purpose, and you all also can access the server. You can coordinate with Subbu and take the server access as well. Yes.
Yeah, Megan, I have a question. While practicing that one, the Vim document approver, requester and approver will be different users, right? So in the
Mhm.
practice system, how that's both user access will get that one, how it will be there.
Yeah, yeah. PO requester or approver. I mean, it can be. I mean, you are talking about in within Vim the approval of the invoice, or you want to
Yeah,
create a PO and
yeah, workflow it will trigger. I mean, general workflow one is the requester and two levels of
that
approval, or how it will be
correct,
there.
correct. That all we will cover it in this session where we in the invoice approval session where uh, the requester or approver first level approver can be same sometimes. The coder and requester can be same or separate, and then the it can go to the next levels of approvals like based on the amounts. That all we will be seeing covering that in the approval part. How the AFS approval workflow settings we call AFS ID means, so how this workflow settings will be there, we can see it in that sessions. Yes.
How many hours it will took total training?
Uh, we are, I mean, almost it is a 1 month course where we are trying to cover all these topics. And yeah, I mean, weekends we are not taking up the sessions. So almost it will take some 25 sessions, maybe. Yeah.
So training will be the same time daily.
Uh, that one, like we will try to check with the Subbu that one, because based on everyone's availability, we will try to get a fixed timing, and then we will try to start them.
You are in India only, no, Meghana?
Right. I understand everybody is from India, right? Can you confirm if anybody is outside India? I think no. So yeah, we can take it up in India timings, and usually we all have our business hours, right? We will try to take a fixed time from everyone and coordinate. And Subbu will be, reaching out to you regarding this and set up the time. Okay. Okay, then if there are no any further questions, we can close the session, guys. We can connect in our next sessions.
Thank you.
Yes, hello. Hello.
Thank you for the demo, Meghna. Thanks so much. It's informative.
Yeah, yeah.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
the
Thank you
session.
all for joining. Thank you all for the joining the session.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you all. Bye bye.